What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you kind of just a breakdown of what I do specifically for your companies, what I'm doing on the day-to-day in terms of business. Later on, I'll give more in-depth videos. This is just more of an overview. Okay, so what I've been doing for the past 6 months is I've been partnering with mainly B2B companies. Right now I really don't like B2C sales. It's just annoying. You get a lot of people that are, broke. You get people that are honestly just retarded. So I more like to focus on companies that are selling B2B services and software. So what I've done in the past is I partner up with companies and I take equity share in them from a sales management standpoint. But now what I'm more pivoting to is more of a consulting model to where I can partner up with these companies at more of a larger scale, help them improve their close rates, their systems, and overall just grow their companies from a sales management level. So, biggest problem that I saw with these companies was number one, majority of business owners absolutely suck at sales, unless they're a sales training company or they're a sales first company, sales organization or something like that. Majority of companies, company owners suck at sales. I work with a lot of SaaS founders. Those guys are absolutely nerds. Most of these guys, are big coders. They're not sales guys. Second, what I thought about was a lot of these founders, they think they just need to spend more on marketing. They think that, okay, I just need to increase ad spend. And, while increasing ad spend can definitely make you more money, if you don't have a proper foundation, then ultimately what you're doing is you're just losing and leaking more money outside of your business. And what I saw was a lot of these business owners, they lacked a consistent sales process from setter to closer. They had absolutely no data tracking, which is, completely retarded in my opinion. And then number three, they had no training system or no accountability for their sales reps. But the thing is of businesses that I'm partnering up with, are in the software space. So it's like, they have no clue how to manage these sales teams. So, can't really blame them. So like I was saying, the real bottleneck is growth with these businesses typically stall when they actually lack structure. Yes, marketing can be on point, but even if the marketing is 10 out of 10, if you don't have proper sales systems, like I said, you're just going to be losing a lot of money, and that's the biggest problem. Sorry about that. I had a goblin by that was being annoying. All right, so essentially what my fix was for these companies was simply just building a repeatable sales infrastructure. Number one, a lot of these companies had extremely clunky CRM and they had absolutely no automations. And the CRM is essentially the foundation. It should be something that is very good at tracking leads, tracking the sales process, and keeping everything organized. But it also shouldn't be something that's extremely annoying and clunky for people to use, especially sales reps, because sales should be sales. Closers and setters, they should be selling 90% of the time. The other 10% should be just admin tasks, obviously syncing up the CRM, but it shouldn't take up, 40% of the time. That's just too much. Number two is automation. A lot of these sales teams, they had no automations, whether it was, reminders for meetings through email or SMS, sales training reminders, no automations within their sales trainings and meetings, things like that. They just absolutely lacked. Number two is dialing in the scripts and the overall company messaging. What I saw was a lot of these founders, especially for software companies, it's like everyone thinks sales is this super, pushy tactic, a used car salesman type deal, when, that may be 1990s approach. It's 2025. So you got to sell from a more consultative approach and go from there. So that's number two. Number three, what I saw was you got to lock in your training and accountability. A lot of these companies, they did not have routine sales training meetings. Number one, which is ultimately where sales reps are growing. Majority of sales reps, unfortunately, are not doing a lot of training outside of company meetings. So you have to hold the standard. It's like, hey, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bare minimum, setters and closers need to be on these trainings and doing an hour of, role playing, reviewing calls, and handling objections, things like that. Majority of these companies that I partnered up with, we're not doing any of that. Number two is accountability, which plays into it. It's like, hey, you got to show up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some companies have it, Monday through Friday meetings. And ultimately, the last thing is recruiting and leadership. A lot of these companies, they had no idea where to find sales reps. They're reaching out to their buddy who they went to college with, who is, unemployed, or they were reaching out to, family and friends. Or a lot of times I saw the founders were actually doing the selling, which, it can work. But the biggest thing is that I saw is these guys are very, very, because like I said, main industry that I'm partnering up with is software companies. These guys are coders. They're not sales reps. They don't know how to run a proper demo. They were mainly just showing off the features. They weren't asking proper discovery questions and actually handling objections. So those are the four things that I'm really building out with the companies that I partner up with, and how I'm really helping them grow. Okay. So like I said, we're installing the engine that scales, end-to-end CRM automation. Some companies, they use Go High Level. I prefer to do Close.io, especially with B2B sales teams. Reason being is because these are very, very heavy to where we have an auto dialer. We can do a lot of dialing. Most companies that I'm partnering up with, they're using Slack for messaging, and then Zapier as well for automations. Then on top of that, we have daily KPI dashboards and reporting. So closers can see, number one, how many dials they're doing, how many conversations they're having, how many people that they're actually offering to book appointments or demos for, and then how many people they're actually booking in. For closers, it's how many appointments they have on the calendar, how many people showed, how many people that they actually offered, and then how many people they close, and then cash collection as well. And then from there, we're installing the frameworks, like I said, not just scripts, but overall frameworks. Biggest thing that I focus on with sales teams is I hate the guys that memorize sales scripts. If you're memorizing sales scripts, you are absolutely cooked, because sales is about a business-to-business connection. It's not about following word tracks and things like that. It's ultimately asking proper questions and actively listening. So what we're doing is we're installing, a lot of these companies are still cold calling. Cold calling definitely works a lot better with B2B. Then we're installing the discovery and closer frameworks. And then lastly, we are installing the setter and closer hiring and ramp systems. So this is to get a setter and closer from when they get onboarded onto the sales team to when they need to be ramped up to reaching their KPIs. So that's exactly what we install for these companies. And the goal when I partner up with companies is to turn this sales chaos into predictable growth. We're not just closing more deals, but we're helping companies save more money, and then ultimately building out systems that makes closing inevitable. So there's pretty much two offers that I offer. Like I said, kind of how I started was portfolio partnership. So I am partnering up with companies to where it's no upfront. All we're doing is I'm getting equity in their company through sales management, and then I'm also doing marketing as well. So that's long-term growth. But if you're watching this video is for people who are looking for a simple setup. This is a consulting engagement. We do an upfront setup. What we do is we do end management. Okay. So we, number one, build out all your sales assets. We build out your CRM stack. We do all of your automations. We do all the training scripts and KPI systems. And then we actually build out your entire sales team. I will place a setter, closer, and a sales manager on your sales team. And if you need more than that, if you have a pretty big lead flow, I can do all of that as well. I can, put 2 setters, 2 closers, 1 sales manager, whatever you need. That's what I'm offering. So right now, I'm not taking on any portfolio partners as well because it takes up a lot of my time. But I am doing one-time build outs. It's upfront. Right now, it's minimum $10,000 to partner up with me. The goal is to ramp you up so that, possibly in the future, obviously if that's something that you're interested in, if I see like you are a good fit, we partner up with you and we take on equity. We're no longer an agency. We're no longer a consultant. We are business partners. Okay. Right now, I'm mainly focusing on software companies. I really like the business model. This is at least for portfolio partnership. If you're looking for consulting, it's just any company selling B2B. It could be a marketing agency, it could be a software company, it could be, really any company. It could be a coaching company, any of that. We are doing consulting, but right now I'm not taking on any more portfolio partnerships. Okay. So if you are a B2B company that is looking to scale, maybe you have issues with your sales teams and you are looking to grow, message me below and we will have a conversation.